Stand by, recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of EHC-TV. I'm Will Seidel.
And I'm Khalil King. Welcome back to this week's show. Will, sleep deprivation is heavy in the air, and it's not only because of homecoming, man. The academic grind is in full force.
We're getting to that point, man, where all the final projects, final exams, they're starting. You have to start them now, and man, I feel you. You were about to fall asleep in class today, man. I was this morning. I was kind of worried about you there.
Yeah, I have a sleep study coming up. So
I feel
we'll
that,
get on
man.
that.
I feel that. But anyway, who you got on set today?
I have a senior senator, Nathan Krauss, today. We're going to talk about a variety of things, so I'm excited about that. Who do you have on set today?
I've got Cara Brooks, the equestrian. She's going to come on set and talk about how successful her team is doing this year and stuff like that, and also talk about the program and how she got involved, things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool deal. Well, we're now swinging it over to Cam Durr with this week's news.
I'm Cam Durr with this week's news update. Homecoming was this past weekend, and senior Erin Anderson was named Emory and Henry's Homecoming Queen. The month of November is quickly approaching as the theater department is putting on a production of Jerry's Girls, a musical celebrating the works of Tony Award-winning composer Jerry Harmon, beginning November 8th through the 11th. Also coming in November, Therapy Dog Thursdays, brought to you by the Powell Resource Center. Therapy dogs will be on the lawn at the Van Dyke Center. The first day will be held on November 15th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Student groups are needed for the Blue and Gold Open House on Saturday, October 27th. Help needed with setup in the McLaughlin Center for the Arts from 8:15 to 9:15 a.m. Contact Tracy Harrison for more information. The annual Campus Cultural Climate Survey was emailed yesterday and will remain open until November 3rd. This is an anonymous survey conducted to assess the prevalence of discrimination or harassment on campus based on race, color, and national origin. Also, flu and cold season is among us, so make sure you're taking the necessary precautions. The health center is open Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Friday from 8 a.m. to noon. They are also encouraging and will be also administrating flu shots for $17 on your student account. That concludes this week's news update. I'm Cam Durr.
Hello and welcome to this week's feature interview. I'm Khalil King, and today we're joined by Senior Senator Nathan Krauss. Nathan, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so Nathan, you've been involved over the years, I believe since your freshman year. Can you talk about how you got sophomore year?
Yeah, in SGA?
Yes. Can you talk about that process and what you've been involved with?
Okay, yeah. I started out freshman year coming in, didn't really know anything about what student government was about, but throughout the year I heard some of my friends doing it, and I thought it would be something interesting to try out. So my sophomore year, I ran as a senator for Carragher, Matthews, and Sullins. That was when Carragher and Matthews were dorms. That's shows how old I am now. And so I did that, and then I served for that year, and I absolutely loved it. We were able to do a lot of good work. I was able to receive, which I was really honored to get Senator of the Year, Representative of the Year. So that happened, and then the next year I served as Chief of Staff under Jordan Smith. And so I did that for a semester. I think we talked about this last time I was on here. And then I moved up with the vice president stepping down. He was graduating early. I served as vice president for a year. I ran for student body president, and I lost that just by a small margin. And so now I'm back in the Senate. I'm really enjoying that position, able to really work to improve the campus through passing meaningful legislation. So
yeah, I definitely see that you are very passionate.
Thank you.
As a member of Senate. Now, you did gain Senator of the Year about 2 years ago. Can you kind of tell me some of the things you were able to do to get this notoriety?
Well, yeah, we were actually in a very interesting place then as we are now, and it shows kind of the persisting problems and the challenges that count on campus that we need strong leaders to continue to work on. As you know, that there's been a fraternity on campus for the last couple of years that has been trying to become recognized by the school. And so I worked with a committee of, I think, 4 or 5 other people to try to figure out some process to make that more fair, that would allow for gradual implementation of a new fraternity and a new chapter of Emory and Henry College. So that ended up failing. But instead of taking all the work that we had done and for nothing, is we created rules for new Greek organizations and how to come on campus. So we created a 1-year probationary period with certain rules and for them to complete. And then we created a review period so that we could hold them accountable. And I'm excited to say that through that, we've seen a first sorority, Zeta Phi, past year, go through that process. And they're about to wrap up their first year, and they're able now to go through that review. And so this shows when there's difficult problems on campus, when people come together and they get past their own biases and their own feelings and look for the greater good of campus, positive change really can happen.
Okay, can you talk about this 1 year probation? Is this, are you referring to the fraternity that will be coming on campus? And why would?
Well, we actually have 2 on probation right now, as far as I understand. I'm working with the administration to get some clarification on that.
Okay, sorry, I was just confused.
Zeta Phi is the sorority that's been on campus for the past a year. And so they've been the first to go through this process, and they're going to be finishing it up here soon, which is really exciting to see policy that was implemented to solve a problem actually being used to fix some of the issues. And so I'm excited to see how that's working and for us to continue to improve it to make it the best campus possible.
Okay. Speaking of policy and legislation that you're excited about, talk about the Constitution. You're in the process of rebuilding that right now.
Yes, yeah, we're starting a whole new process. The Student Government Constitution's been around since 1999. That's when the SGA was started. And as any institution, we've seen changes on campus, and so things are really outdated in it. And so it needs, at this point, just a clean rewrite. So I'm really excited. I'm working with myself and about, I think, 8 other senators to really do that. And so we're trying to get campus involved as much as possible. So I'd encourage everyone, if you can go online and find the student handbook. And in there, if you go to the table of contents, it will show you where the Student Government Constitution is. Read that over, because this isn't supposed to be anything for just me or you. It's supposed to be for a campus in general. So we really want as much input so we can make this everybody's constitution, because the student government is really meant to represent everybody on campus.
You don't think it's doing so right now, as a whole?
I think when myself and Landy, we ran for student body president and vice president, our slogan was moving Emory forward.
Okay. And
so we think that campuses has a great history. It's been around for over, was 1800, 1830s, that it was established, and it's had a great legacy. But there's always room for improvement. So I think the campus is only going to get better, but that's not going to happen unless we have dedicated people that get down into the weeds and really work to improve what Emory and Henry already has to offer. So this requires everybody to participate, and it requires getting past some of our own desires and our own feelings in order to make campus the best it can be. So I'm encouraging everybody to participate so that we really can make the campus the best it can be.
Awesome. I love your passion and what you're doing for campus. Let's talk about your internship this summer and what you want to do after graduation. I know you had an opportunity to be in Washington.
I actually got to do 2 internships in DC, and they were both incredible. So I started out as an internship with my member of Congress. I'm from the 5th District of Virginia, so I served with Congressman Tom Garrett in his DC office for about a month, and that was an incredible experience. I get to really see how Capitol Hill works. I got to go to a lot of committee hearings, which was incredible to see actual policy being enacted.
Is it any different from Emory?
Yes, it's different, but a lot of the applications are similar, which is exciting to see. Something that our founding fathers implemented, being working at the highest level of government, and how Emory and Henry College is taking those great values and applying them here to campus. So it was excited to see a lot of the similarities, and there's things that we can apply that the other governments are doing to our campus to improve it too. So that I give a new perspective on how to apply. So I really enjoyed that.
Good. One last thing. What do you see yourself doing after college with all this experience you've gained?
So I really enjoyed working on policy and doing really trying to understand and make systems better. So my goal is to go on to law school and then probably practice law at some point. For right now, though, I want to take a year in between law school, so I'm hoping to possibly work as a paralegal in a federal agency in DC for a year to try to get better experience of law and work with lawyers before I actually go on to law school. So that's my plan now.
Cool. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world, Nathan, and thank you for coming on set today.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you guys for watching. I will now pass it over to Luke Montalbano with a sports update.
Hello.
I'm Luke Montalbano bringing you this week's sports update. It's been a busy week, so let's start on the football field. The football team hosted Shenandoah University for their homecoming game. The Wasps grabbed a 38-14 lead in the third quarter. However, Shenandoah fought back as they scored a touchdown on a quick drill and the score 52-50. However, they failed to convert the two-point conversion as they were fall short 52-50. Sophomore quarterback Hunter Taylor tied the school record with 6 touchdowns thrown in the game. He also threw for 61 yards with no interceptions. For his effort, Taylor was named the ODAC Offensive Player of the Week. On the defensive side of the field, sophomore defensive back Tyler Redmond was named the ODAC Defensive Player of the Week, as he reported 10 tackles and reported a fumble early in the game. Moving on to the soccer field, the men's soccer team finished their season with 2 road games as they lost both. They fell short to Randolph College 5-0 on Saturday and 2-0 to Regent on Sunday. The Wasps finished the season 6-12 and 0-10 in ODAC play. The women's soccer team hosted Randolph College Sunday for their senior game as they fell short to the Wildcats 5-2. Senior Jillian Boggs twice in her final game at the And on a side note, the World Series kicks off tonight, and all I gotta say, go Red Sox, beat LA. That will do it for this week's sports update. I'm Luke Montalbano. Let's throw it over to Will Seidel for this week's sports interview.
Hello, world. Welcome to this week's edition of Sports Interview. Today, I have with me Junior to go over this year's equestrian team and how successful they've been. Also, how she has been part of the team's success. Cara, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So, Cara, to start out, your team is 4-1 on the season. Can you just recap on how good of a start your team has had this year?
The team has had an excellent start this year so far. We have over 40 freshmen coming in.
40 freshmen?
Yeah, which is actually a ton. So now we have over 70 people on the team. We've gotten in a ton of new horses. We have about 20 new horses. We had about 50 horses last year. Now we have about 70 over at the Equine Center down I-81.
Wow.
So it's a lot. It's a lot of moving pieces every week, getting the team going and everything, but it's been a lot of fun, and the freshmen have really shown that they're very talented at our shows, and I think that this year's going to be one of our stronger years based on the performances we've seen so far. We are 4-0, which is actually pretty impressive compared to last season where we were kind of experiencing growth pains and, so yeah.
That's actually a really good point you make, because Emory and Henry, for the most part, has one of the best equestrian programs in the country, and for you to say it's only going to get better, that really speaks volume on just how much you guys are improving and the fact that there's still more growing room for this program. So to go back a little bit, how did you get involved in horse riding? What was your first time riding a horse?
Well, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. I remember wanting to take lessons when I was younger because my parents, my grandparents live in Aiken, South Carolina, where the steeplechase racing happens, and I just loved horses in general. And I wanted a horse, and I actually saved up money out of laundry change to buy my own horse, which is actually very expensive and would not have been possible. But I ended up saving up about $800, and my dad said, if you take 2 years of riding lessons and you decide that you like it, then you can have a horse, but we need to see that you're committed. And so I literally would hunt for money on the streets. I'd find random coins and put them in a jar. And my parents actually didn't make me buy the horse, but I bought all the equipment for my own horse, my first horse, which equipment for horses can be very expensive. So that was kind of a proud moment for myself, I would say, that I saved up all that money. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a passion for so long. It's something that has really motivated me throughout high school and into college, and it's pretty cool that I get to be on an athletic team and ride horses because there aren't many colleges that can say that they have that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's pretty amazing. It drew me to Emory and Henry, and it's one of the best programs in the country. So.
So you're from Georgia, right? How did you hear about Emory and Henry's program? Did they recruit you? Did you reach out to them? How did you hear about Emory and Henry College?
I actually heard about Emory and Henry through an old trainer of mine, and we had heard that Virginia Intermont College was shutting down, and I knew that I'd wanted to go to that program, and I was devastated because that was the college that I wanted to attend, and for the longest time that had been my goal. And then we noticed a press conference. My mom just was like on the internet searching one night and noticed a press conference where Emory and Henry announced that they were buying the program. and I was super excited and immediately researched the school, immediately set up, I set up a audition within like the next year, and I came here and tried out, and I loved the college. It's actually the perfect setting to have the horse program at, because it's a small school, and the program really brings in a lot of students, which is great.
So when you're actually practicing, preparing for other matches, stuff like that, how much quality time and preparation do you spend with the horses?
Well, as an equine student, you're required to take a riding class every week. So it's kind of difficult to fit into our schedules, because you have to have about a 3-hour block in your schedule, at least like 2 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week, just for riding classes. Then most of us go out and free ride and practice on our own the majority of the time, other than the riding classes. But riding classes are about an hour and a half of practice, 2 to 3 days a week, I would say, for most students.
That's a lot of dedication.
It is.
Wow.
So most students go out there almost every day, though, and then weekends we also go out and free ride, and then if we're having a horse show, we'll have additional practices on top of that prior to the horse show. So Heather, our coach, will assign a practice time and have sign-ups on the board, and she's like, okay, these people are horse showing, you have to come to a practice, and you pick a time that's convenient to you, and you come out and practice, and those last about an hour and a half as well. So you may have a riding class and then have a practice on top of it, and you're at the barn for 5 hours that day.
I did not know you guys were that dedicated.
It's a lot of work.
It required all that time. Wow. So the roster you're on, I believe it's the IHSA roster.
Yes.
So what's the difference between IHSA and IDA? Because there's 2 different rosters.
Yeah.
I don't think you're on the IDA.
I am not. I'm not on the IDA team.
Could you explain the differences there?
The IDA team is a dressage team. So dressage is the foundation of all flat work of riding. So it's really getting the horses. You notice our horses at the riding center are extremely muscular, like very built up. That's not because they're like just built that way naturally. We actually work on building those muscles on the horses, and we treat them as athletes, and it's because of dressage and the fact that we have that foundation. A lot of the flat work we do and a lot of the exercises we do with them is really focusing on like building their top line and making them move forward from behind and using those muscles. And then IHSA is more on the rider. So you look at the rider's position. They're actually over fences portions where you jump a course of fences at about, I guess open is like a 2.6 fence height. And then it goes under that for like the lower divisions. And that's judged on how well you can navigate your horse around the course, basically, and how well you can hold your position and get the best ride out of that horse. So it's kind of difficult because when you go to horse shows, you're drawing a horse out of a hat that you've never ridden before.
Oh, really? You don't get to use a horse you practice on?
We do not. We sometimes bring our own horses, but usually you don't draw your own horse.
Wow.
So you're drawing and you have no idea, and you have to be able to, as a rider, adjust your ride to that specific animal.
How challenging is that?
Oh my gosh, it's so challenging.
I'd say so. My goodness, there's no chemistry there at all between you and your horse.
And sometimes you get on one and you're just like, I have no idea how to do this. And I just kind of smile at my coach and I'm like, help me right now, please. But, Heather is really excellent at making us get the best ride out of whatever we can. And going into a professional field, as a horse rider, especially with the equestrian studies major here, you have to be able to get on different horses. If a client were to come to you and say, I have this horse I need you to sell in a month, and if it's a troubled horse, you have to get on it and get the best ride possible and be able to make money off of it. So it teaches those skills to us, which is kind of cool.
So, when you get your horse, do you, get it, hours before the meet, or do you know what horse you're going to ride, or is it right then and there when you're about to go on?
Well, we go to the horse show, and we watch all the horses warm up in the morning, and we usually get to the horse show about 6:30 in the morning. We usually leave campus about 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., depending on... depending on it's very early.
It's early.
Depending on the travel time. And so we travel, and we go and we warm up. We watch the horses warm up, and then when you watch them warm up, that's the only time you see the horse before you get on it. And then you are assigned the horse and you get on immediately, and you have to go in and jump. You don't get any warm up, you don't get any practice time before. So it's a little bit difficult.
I'd say so.
For sure.
Gracious. Well, Cara, good luck the rest of the way. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
you. Keep me updated on the season.
Yeah,
please.
definitely, I will. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And now we will pass it on to Sam Guy with this week's rant.
Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing
Thanks.
Hey, just want to let y'all know one thing. I'm still kind of ticked off y'all didn't nominate me for Homecoming King, as in I'm super pissed right now, as in bruh. In addition to all of that, now going back to the main point, we're getting to that point of the semester where stress is really kicking in. And here's my stress is really kicking in, and yeah, some of you may be in turmoil, as in like when stuff is going down, you're in the point of the semester where you're like, yep, I'm messing up, or hey, I'm doing well. Here's my advice for you if you're in that position. First of all, get a good group of friends to vent. That has been the most essential part of, I cannot emphasize any more. Get a group of friends that you can vent to, whether it be your roommate, your next door neighbor, whoever, and make sure you trust them, because you don't want to be going to those people who you vent out to and then all of campus knows what's going on in your life. No. Get a trusted group of friends. 2, take enough sleep. OMG, as in like sleep is your best friend. Get about 5 to 7 hours of sleep, 5 to 7 hours or more of sleep. Eat well, use the gym, and hey, take some chill time, whether it be with a group of friends or just by yourself. And also remember, as was said earlier on, it is flu season, so make sure you get your flu shot. Since today's rant is very short, I just want to give out a shout out to the Emory and Henry football team for winning this series, the game. In addition to all of that, I want to give a big shout out to the EHC-TV team. I just want to say I'm being blessed to work with such an amazing team of people, both on camera and off camera. Y'all are the most amazing people. Honestly, you're the reason why I'm doing the rant today. And to conclude, go Red Sox. We're going to win today's World Series. My name is Sam Mungai, and that was my rant. Stay blessed, Emory.
Khalil,
what's up, brother?
you're in my spot. Would you rather switch? Can we switch, please? Please, thank you. Thank you. This is too awkward for me.
I suppose so.
Khalil, that was a great interview. Nathan Krauss, just something else. I tell you what, I had him on interviewing, last year, because he was actually replacing Vice President Jordan Couch, and he was really good.
Yeah, it was a really
great interview.
He was pretty impressive. It was a little bit awkward because I was actually running against him last year in the Senate race, so that was a bit of a fun time.
That was a fun time, but man, you could just tell he's a born politician and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed having Cara on too with the equestrian team. She's really knowledgeable, really sweet girl. Just really had a good time. So.
No, man, you're taking all of her time. She's riding for you at the White Topper, and
no, I know, right?
You know her well.
Hey,
so.
She saved my hind end this week, that's for certain. With the interview and riding for the White Topper, she's she's really dependable. So you gotta love those kind of people. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a good show. Well, we'll see you next week, Emory.
I'm Will Seidel.
And I'm Khalil King.